is trailing Hillary 46% to 37% in the African American community. What's going on here?
First of all, I think that's not going to hold. I'm completely confident. Black America will wake up and get it. But what we're dealing with in the black community is just the natural fear of possibility. You know, when I look at my life, you know, the stuff that we're seeing in these polls is played out my whole life. You know, always been told by somebody that I'm not ready. You know, I can't do something. My scores weren't high enough. You know, there's always that doubt in the back of the minds of people of color. People who've been oppressed and haven't been given real opportunities, that you never really believe, that you believe that somehow someone is better than you. You know, deep down inside, you doubt whether you can do it, because that's all you've been told is no, wait. That's all you hear. And you hear it from people who love you, not because they don't care about you, but they're afraid. They're afraid that something might happen.
It's interesting you say that, excuse me, because stewardess yesterday, 52-year-old African-American, and I asked her if she was interested in Barack Obama, if she would vote for him. And she said like this, she said, I don't think so, because he probably can't win because he's black.
That's right. That's right. That's the psychology that's going on in our heads, in our souls, and I understand it. I know where it comes from, you know, and I think that it's one of the horrible legacies of racism and discrimination and oppression.
She says black America is going to wake up. On the other hand, there's the chance that black America just likes Hillary Clinton better, and they're voting for black people aren't obligated to vote for Barack Obama.
All right, folks. Now, I was online yesterday, and I was reading some of the different reaction to the comment, and I came across this blog by Kevin McCullough. Lady has the Muscle Revolution, and the headline on the piece said, "New Race Pimp Michelle Obama. Whites keeping blacks from voting Obama." In his first line, he says, "I'm not sure, but it's like Michelle Obama is saying that the reason African Americans aren't supporting Barack Obama thus far in the presidential race is due to white racism." Is that what she sounds like? That's what she's. And so then he went on to talk about that. And so I said, well, what the heck? Let's reach out to him. So joining us right now is Kevin McCullough. Kevin, welcome to the Roland S. Martin Show.
Hey, Roland, good to talk to you.
Let's talk about this here. So how did you take her comments? You also have another blog posting where you say you had this dialogue, and so there were African Americans in New York who disagree with Michelle Obama's analysis.
Yeah, actually, I do an afternoon talk show here in Manhattan. We took almost exclusively 100% African American phone calls on yesterday's show, and they ran 2-to-1 against Michelle's comments, which I thought were interesting. By the way, thanks for having me on, and a good hello to Cliff Kelly and to Bishop Trotter and Reverend Meeks and all my friends, the Chicago South Side and South Suburbs. It's been a while since I've been on the air in Chicago, but always good to come back home. The reason that I brought up the point on the blog post of Michelle being linked to white racism is because, quite frankly, towards the end of the second cut that you just played, she said in not so many words that this was a lingering effect of racism and discrimination. And what she's saying is that lingering effect is, if I understand her words correctly, that blacks cannot vote for a black leader because they do not believe he will win. And that is what she is the lingering effect, this idea that you have to look outside the community to find something that's of better quality or of higher standard or realistic shot at winning this elected office. Now, if that's not what she's saying, then I and about half the nation completely misunderstood her.
No, I would probably say that you and many others are confused on that, because what she is speaking to, and trust me, we have dealt with this topic.
Roland, you're saying she did not. She's not saying that blacks have an inferiority complex in supporting Obama.
No, follow me here. follow me.
Okay.
What she is saying on this issue is that when you look historically as African Americans, there's been a fear there. There is a belief. There is indeed a belief. The New York Times piece, when they did it out of South Carolina, they talked to several African American women there. I've heard it on this radio show expressed personally and in columns that, well, whites are not going to vote for Obama, so therefore my vote for him is going to be a waste. Now, was it
kind of odd when you think about it, because really think about it, in many sectors of white America, Obama's doing far better.
That's the point, Kevin. That's the point. The point is you have folks actually say, well, I don't think whites are going to vote for Obama, so therefore I'm not going to vote for him. And what I've been saying, wait a minute, guys, do you think he raised $70 million just from blacks? Do you think he's second in the poll just because of African Americans? No. Now here's what's interesting. In your column, you said, sure, she might be couching it, quote, generational effects of blacks being aren't good enough, but that didn't seem to stop Condoleezza Rice from speaking 6 languages fluently, becoming an accomplished concert pianist, an Olympic competitive figure skater, the provost of Stanford University, and, oh yes, the first ever black female national security advisor, Secretary of State. Now, Kevin, if you read Marcus Mabry's book, Twice as Good, even in the book, Condoleezza Rice's father, John Rice, did not want to get involved in the civil rights movement because he said it's not going to work. He said whites are not going to change. And so I think when Michelle Obama talks about this fear of taking the next step, even Condoleezza Rice's father was afraid to go against the status quo because he did not believe that white sales were going to change. And so that's what she's really speaking to.
And Roland, what's interesting about that is if the people get on my website and download yesterday's podcast, which I make available free, it is very interesting to note that the people that called my show, anyone born, I would say, after 1965, respond very negatively to Michelle's statement. Everyone born before that, because we screen the age of every caller that comes into my show, everyone that was born prior to 1965 pretty much accepted what she had to say at face value. And since we were talking almost exclusively to the African American community here in Manhattan yesterday, I found that to be very interesting, because the point you're just making is the same thing. Condi's father comes from an era in which generational effects still had knowledge of pre-civil rights era. So does Michelle Obama. Not by much, but she does. But if you're talking to the 35-year-old, professional, college-educated, black young person today, they're saying, well, wait a second, there's nothing holding me back. Yeah, are there racism? Are there things we still have to fight for in terms of justice in society? Absolutely. Are they always going to have to be there? Unfortunately, probably so.
But Kevin, study the numbers.
Be ignorant. But the problem is the younger generation does not feel the same type of issue that Michelle was talking about.
But no. But Michelle Obama wasn't speaking. But Michelle Obama wasn't speaking to the younger voters.
Let me finish the thought.
No, hold tight one second. I break. Hold on. We'll finish your thought. We come back. 7:20, and we'll go to some phone calls as well. So 7:20. So hold tight 1 second, Kevin. And I'm going to call folks. It's 591-1690, 591-1690. We come back. We're talking with Kevin McCullough regarding the comments made by Michelle Obama on MSNBC. So we'll take your calls. We come back. You're listening to the Roland S. Martin Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Welcome back. 7:24. You're listening to the Roland S. Martin Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Be sure to listen to our Turkey Gobble. A sound will be coming up shortly. We'll be playing the turkey game in a bit. But first, we're talking about these comments Michelle Obama made on MSNBC. Our guest is Kevin McCullough. And Kevin, you want to finish your comment?
Yeah, there were 2 other things that stood out to me about Michelle's comments, and I asked my listeners about them yesterday. One was that I don't know how well it goes over when Ivy League educated people say to the hardworking people of America, you need to wake up. As though if you're African American and you're not supporting Barack Obama, according to Michelle's viewpoint in her comment that she said yesterday, there's this view that you're not really one of us. You're asleep at the wheel. In other words, is what she's saying.
No, I think
the last thing. Well, and
go ahead.
Point, and then I'll see what your response is. My last point is there are a lot of reasons why Barack's campaign may not be connecting with African Americans, particularly in the state of Iowa, which was the only place that 37-47 numbers are coming in at. That was a very focused question that the interviewer asked Michelle, and it only had to do with the Iowa electorate, not the nation as a whole. But there are a variety of reasons why they may not support Barack's campaign, and his aggressive support of abortion on demand, born-alive abortions, partial birth abortion, and his desire to see marriage be redefined to include homosexual unions may be at the top of that list, especially for black churchgoers.
Okay.